Hiya, Marlon. So incredible run that Bristol City are on at the moment. 12 games unbeaten. I think it's only Luton Town on a longer unbeaten run in English football. How do you see that? I mean, did you expect that? Could you see that coming?
I mean, you always hope, don't you? I think you always go in games believing that you're unbeatable, and I suppose that's the confidence you need to have. It's just all clicked into place, I think. Not getting too carried away. Just on the training field, win, lose or draw. Just keep going about our process and keep doing what we're doing. We've achieved nothing yet, so until we do that, we just keep our heads down and keep working hard.
What's it like behind the scenes at the moment in terms of the atmosphere and in the dressing room? In particular, how does it compare to last season? Because obviously you on a great run as well last season, several points.
Yeah, I just think what I just touched on. Obviously, you have to enjoy it because these runs don't come around too often in football. So you do enjoy the wins, but then, like I say, you just brush them to one side, focus on the next game. We've got a lot of games coming up, so you can't get too carried away. But at the same time, obviously the mood is very good because you're winning games, and you can't beat that feeling as a professional footballer going into the changing room with 3 points, regardless of how they come. So, I mean, it's what we work for, it's what we strive for, and long may it continue.
6 wins in a row now. How do you view the Bolton win in hindsight?
I think all wins are massive. Like I said, ideally, if you're playing free-flowing football, you won't be conceding. You'll be scoring 3 or 4 goals, but against Championship opposition, that's not easy. One thing I will say, we touched on, I think maybe we can be a touch more ruthless, and that's come collectively as a group where we've been in good positions and we've had very good chances, and we haven't really shown that killer instinct or given the other side that killer blow, really. So if we can get that together in these next couple of games, they'd be good going.
What do you make of Luca Connell, who I think you were up against on at the weekend? Because he's actually attracted a few headlines since then, and people have picked him out as a star from the future.
Yeah, I think we all touched on. I think him and Pritchard, the 2 young lads that come in, and I don't want to say too much about Bolton because obviously they set up how they set up, but as the young lads go, I think they can take credit from how they performed. He looked like a good prospect and showed no fear on the ball and had a lot of technical ability. So wish him all the luck in the future. And Bolton looked like they got a decent player on their hands.
Speaking of young prospects, Antoine Semenyo has been recalled by Bristol City this week. What's he been like in training? I'm sure you will have come up against him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's always shown his potential. Obviously, he played last year against Sheffield United. He trained with us quite a bit last year. Early on in pre-season, he's trained with us. For his age, he's a big, strong lad. Both feet can go either way. Obviously, he played Middlesbrough at the weekend, and I heard he's done well there. So, like I said, another one who's got obviously immense talent and looks like he has another bright future. And we seem to be plucking them at this club and doing well in sourcing these players.
I've asked you before, Marlon, about going out on loan. I think you said it was an important experience in your football career.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same for Antoine and coming back in. Do you have to make your mark in training straight away, do you think, or not?
Well, I think, even then he comes in with a bit more respect. I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but he's actually played men's football now. He knows what it's all about. From my own experience, and I think judging on him this week in training, you seem to gain a little bit of sharpness just by playing those games, week in, week out, and with the 23s, and back in my day, it wasn't that long ago, but it sounds like it now. It was reserve team football, so you didn't know when the games were coming. So, as I touched on previously, I think it's vital for everyone to go and get that football experience, first team, against a proper crowd that demand results, and obviously our young lads have done that this year and seem to be doing well again. And
if you can handle Leighton Flint, then you can handle anyone, I guess, really.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Flinty after the game, and he had high praise of both Anton and T. So, like I said, they've had a good half for the season at Newport. Obviously, Anton's come back now, but hopefully T has a good second half of the season there, and then next year he'll come back, better for Bristol City.
Yeah, 2 good young players. Swansea up next then, and the last game was pretty close in South Wales. Do you expect the same again?
Yeah, I watched some of the game last night. very technical team, you know, good footballing players, and you know, one that's going to make it tough for us again. So obviously you have a game plan you have to abide to, but at the same time we need to try and stamp our authority on the game and bring our game to them, especially at home, which, you know, hopefully in front of a big crowd at Ashton Gate, help us spur on to get us a result.
And your own form, just finally, what do you make of that? You must be pleased, because by my reckoning you've been one of the most consistent players for Bristol City this season.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I've always been looking to improve regardless how I'm playing. But yeah, consistency level I've been happy with. I always am my harshest critic, so I'll always look for ways to improve and go there to that next step. And hopefully, like I said, it'll be, you know, Bristol City this season or in the next seasons to come. And you need to continue to do that with the players. We've got, you know, a good squad here. Everyone seems to be pulling their weight at the minute, and there's people that, you know, that are on the bench that are chomping at the bit. So you need to, they keep you on your toes, especially in training where, you know, the competition is very tough. And I think that's why maybe you're seeing this run, is because everyone is pulling together, and we just got to maintain it now. Like I said, keep our heads down and keep going about our business.
Nice one, thanks.
Marlon, I just wanted to ask you quickly about the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Obviously a draw on Monday, Shrewsbury or Wolves. Of those two, have you got a favourite you'd like to play? It's either a chance to test yourself against Wolves or arguably an easier tie against Shrewsbury.
I think you probably answered the question there. I think either way, you're happy. It's a massive opportunity, I think, this season for either a lower league Premiership side or a Championship side to go and advance further. So I think the replay's next week, isn't it? So obviously we'll see them. But either way, it'll be a good opportunity for us to go on further and keep this momentum going.
And as we mentioned, it's a great run that you're on at the moment, still just outside the playoffs though, but is that a kind of a good position to be in, rather than having that pressure of you have to maintain your place in the top six?
Well, yeah, maybe. I suppose we were in that other position last year and it didn't work out, so maybe a different position in terms of, you know, not being in the pack but being the chasing pack. Maybe it may help us out, but once again that'd be down to us as a team, you know, collectively and an individual to go and make the most of the position that we're in now. We are in a great position, but we haven't achieved anything yet. So like I said, we keep going about our business, keep working hard, just take everything with a pinch of salt, enjoy the wins, but then focus on the next game.
Yeah, well into the second half of the season now. Going back to the start of the season, the likes of Joe Bryan, Bobby Reid, Aidan Flint, who you were very close to, have moved on. Have you been surprised at how well everybody's sort of gelled together? You still got that team spirit you had last year?
Yeah, I think it was always going to take time. I don't think anything happens overnight. I mean, even the success we had last year, if you have a look at it, it's a squad that has been put together for a couple of years. And even some of us have been there for 4 or 5 seasons together. So it doesn't just happen overnight. And maybe we are starting to click into gear now, and that's why the runs come at such a good time, when everyone's starting to know each other. Some of the new players are understanding more what the gaffers asked for and what we asked for as a team. And hopefully that will bode well for the second half of the season. I still don't think we've reached our full potential and our stride, so, but talk is always cheap, isn't it? Until you go out and deliver on that, then we'll see.
And somebody else I wanted to touch on, Josh Brownhill. When he first joined the club, he was quite a shy character in some respects, particularly when we talked to him in the press and stuff. But he's really kind of come alive this season. He's been a stalwart in the midfield alongside you. How special is that relationship? Yeah,
I think you've probably seen his personality grow on and off the field, really. Always had great ability. And like I touched on with the young lads that we've had at the club always seem to find these young players that have the potential to go and achieve a lot of things in their career. And we've got many, I think, in our squad currently involved. Josh has had a great season. He has an immense talent, one of the best trainers I've trained with. Great lad. Personality, as you said, he's grown a bit more. He's a bit more louder now and becoming a main focus in the changing room as well. So hopefully he'll have another second half of the season, and I always think he'll go on and achieve good things in football.
And just finally, how special would it be if City did manage to sort of sneak in those playoff positions come the end of the season? Now you've been at the club for a number of years. It'd be brilliant for you.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be another step towards the right direction. I think the progress of the club have made each season since I've been here has been great. There's always been an improvement, and that's got to be our aim. But until we deliver on it, like I said, I think obviously it is within reach, but there's so many teams fighting for that position. Even with the great run that we're on, we're not really creating a big gap in terms of, you know, there's teams breathing down our neck, and we're still not in the playoffs, and it might bode well for us in terms of being the chasing pack for once. So it's all about not getting carried away. I don't want to keep touching on it, football cliches, but I think that would be, we've got a very grounded group of lads, young lads that are hungry for success, and maybe this season we will go and achieve that.
Okay, thank you. Right, Chris.
Thank you.
Cheers, Marlon.